Called to order the school board meeting.
Yes.
For tonight. This meeting has been posted. Attendance roll call.
Mr. Strom.
Here.
Mr. Hyde.
Here.
Mrs. Warwick.
Here.
Mr. Buckmaster.
Here.
Mr. Bowman.
Here.
I'm here. Mr. Kowalski.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. Item D, approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion for the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. There's one item that is going to be removed from under other reports. Oh, it's already removed. Never mind. All those in favor of the agenda as presented, say aye.
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 Opposed? Passes unanimously. Pledge of allegiance. Mr. Bowman, would you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 2, project update. Dan, would you like to present where we're at with our building projects?
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
As we just walked through the middle valley additions, we have final inspections scheduled for this week, so fire alarm, electrical, and final building. Should have wrapped up by the end of this week for turnover. Exciting milestone for everybody. We did complete the second round of punch list walkthrough today, so we'll be wrapping up any cruise items throughout this week. And you'll notice that a lot of the main entrance doors are all the entry doors started to go in, so you don't see plywood and plastic. Next steps for Mill Valley, after they move in, we're going to start doing the pre-demo for the old building, starting to create our isolation over the break, so that we can begin to tear that building down probably early to mid-January. We're at the middle school. We're continuing with enclosure. We're about 70% with roof, windows, and brick. All those activities should be wrapping up mid-January, depending on weather and holidays. The gym is painted. We have gym equipment, the basketball hoops, and the divider curtain structure is up. That'll be wrapping up before Christmas. We're continuing with drywall in the two-story component of the building in the back. We have paint that has actually started as of last Thursday, primer, on some of those walls on the lower level. So the finishes are coming. We just poured our transformer pad, so within a month or two we should have permanent power to the building instead of our temporary. These are chugging along quite well.
I see the water bid came in really favorable.
Did we should be picking up some money over the allowance for carry.
Good. Oh, any of the board members saw that with the
I did not.
Water bid came in, well, they're approving it tomorrow night at council, but almost half of what we were expecting. Any other questions for Dan? Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks,
Dan.
Jeremiah, are you going to do you have anything to add for the pool?
The pool essentially is mobilizing their operation this week. So we've designated places where they can park all their traffic, construction traffic, and we've placed signage up noting where not to come in. If a semi truck were to come in a certain way, they could get stuck. So we have that posted. The internal areas of the school have been boarded up so that nobody can get into anything that'd be adjacent to construction. And the pool is shut down and roped off, so I think they should be starting relatively soon on that.
Any questions for Jeremiah?
I've got one. Jeremiah, you may have already mentioned this. What was the impact? So the boys swim team is practicing where?
Say
Franklin.
Franklin?
Okay, new. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right. Going on to item 2, consent agenda. Could I have a motion for consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Anything on consent agenda that needs separate consideration or separate questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of consent agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Moving on to item 4, student representation. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good, how are you?
Good.
Good evening.
So we don't have a whole lot going on this week. Last weekend, the boys and girls basketball teams did quite well. The boys beat over Waukesha South, I believe, which makes them 2-2 this season, while the girls are 5-1 and 3rd in the conference, which is quite exceptional. In related news, the musical started selling tickets this week. The performance of West Side Story will be performed on February 22nd, which is a Thursday, through that Saturday, the 24th.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 6, superintendent report.
Item 5.
Oh yeah, public forum. Forgot about that. Public forum, this is your opportunity to bring any attention to the school board, any issues in operations, going once, all of them. Come on up to the microphone.
I don't know if I was supposed to sign up for something, but.
No, you only have to sign up if you want to talk on something on the agenda item, because then we can converse with you. If you just want to talk about anything in general, we can't respond to you, but this is your opportunity to talk. Okay. But you do need to state your name and address for the record.
My name is Frankie Spurka, and address.
Yeah.
My S6, like, living?
Yes.
S67W1775. W1735, sorry. Yes, Copper Oaks Court. And that's in Muskegon, Wisconsin. Yes.
Now you.
So recently I was presented with the opportunity to support a fundraising campaign for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about that to bring that to your attention because lots of ideas for it. So I'm working with a team of people that I'm assembling that's going to include some other members of Muskegon High School. I'm attending and a student at Muskegon High School. There are 2 main reasons why I decided to do this. The first is because I feel like a lot of, backing up a little, sorry. Mr. Irvine presented me with this opportunity and I said I would for 2 main reasons. The first of which being me personally, I've been touched by cancer in my life and I feel like a lot of other people have also felt the same way. So, and the second reason is because I wanted to show that students can make change in this world. So it's through this campaign called the Students of the Year campaign, and I really want to make you guys aware because my goal is to try to involve all the school districts. So as the campaign is from January 13th to March 1st, and my goal is to get each and every school in our school district involved and in raising money for cancer research. And one of the biggest reasons I wanted to appeal, like, to the school board is for, like, not only the school reason, getting the schools involved, but also because the campaign has a hero that they like to recognize for the state of Wisconsin and all the students who are competing in this fundraising challenge. And that student is Ashley Rohde, and she went to Muskegon, now she goes to Bayland, and she's involved in our school district, so I think I really want to try to push that representation as a city, as a community, with all the schools. And once the campaign starts, you can expect like an email from me. I'll be reaching out to all of you for not only your personal support through either financial donations or items that can be used for the silent auction gala that is at the end of the campaign, but also to ideas for others who might be interested in helping to save the lives of people like Ashley and others. And again, I just came to inform you about what I will be participating in coming up in this upcoming February to March, and some of those ideas. Yeah, I kind of meet Mr. Irvine tomorrow about it, so I wanted to present that to him.
All right. Well, best of luck.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Anyone else for public forum? Seeing none. Superintendent's report.
All right, fabulous. Well, I have the pleasure of introducing Robin and Laura, principals here at Mill Valley, who will be presenting their annual report to the board. So thank you for hosting the meeting tonight and for dinner. for a wonderful staff who are all here. It's amazing. Thank you for being here.
This is like deja vu.
Yeah.
Okay, so hello again. So I'm Robin Short, the principal, and standing next to me is Laura Shanahan, our associate principal. And we're excited to share with you all the great things that are happening at Mill Valley. Although our doors are not closing, this will be the last board meeting we will hold in this gym. We are just days away from our move into the new addition. So on our agenda tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about our theme, academic celebrations, our communication improvements, our merging and moving updates.
One moment.
Hang on just when all the doors are closed.
The phones are not live.
The one's just a little ajar, but you should get one open.
Our merging and moving updates, PBIS, as well as our traveling Falcon. So each year we select a school theme. This year's theme is building community brick by brick, and we found it to be very fitting with all the construction going on around us. So this year's students are recognized for being respectful, responsible, and being ready for our Community Builder Awards. These are announced in the morning announcements, and parent phone calls are made sharing the students' efforts. Laura will now share some of the great learning that is taking place in our classrooms.
All right, so in relation to our 3-year focus around high leverage practices, we have, in the first photo, we have peer coaching on finding key events and evidence in a text going on. In photo number 2, we have 4th grade students working on classes level questioning. In photo number 3, we have 3rd grade students embarking on performance tasks through voice and choice. And lastly, in photo 4, we have thinking like a mathematician, students using the Avid Freyer model. All right, so a lot of celebrations here at Mill Valley to celebrate. First and foremost, with the recent release of state report cards, Mill Valley earned significantly exceeds expectations with an overall score of 91.6. In addition to that, Mill Valley, for reading, placed 10th in Waukesha County, moving up from the 17th spot last year. And for Mill Valley Special Ed reading, it placed 9th in Waukesha County, moving up from the 38th spot last year. So a lot of great things happening school-wide. In reference to what's new and unique this year at each grade level, I'm going to have the grade level teams stand up as I reference their accomplishments. For kindergarten, they have created goal binders for students to take ownership in their goals. These go home twice a month, and this increases parent-teacher relationship and communication in their child's progress. For first grade, they are working diligently on setting fact fluency goals to help build a solid math foundation, working within 10. For second grade, with the holiday season quickly approaching, the second graders engage in a real-life shopping experience in which they shop for children who don't have toys. They use ads in newspapers, select items, record the price, and total their expenses. As a special challenge, they need to stay within a budget and see how much money they have left. For third grade, they've been working hard on introducing academic language that is used both in small group and whole class discussions. For fourth grade, they have launched Genius Hour. And Genius Hour is an opportunity for students to spend time learning more about topics that interest them and they're passionate about. Fourth grade has hosted a career fair for the past 2 years where they have taught younger students about possible future career choices. Within our special ed department, they're working really hard on integrating avid language, social skills with their social emotional language learners. Within our specials, we have at Mill Valley a Grandparents' Day. So it was a tri-focus where Fayette focused on rhythm and dance skills, music focused on performance and the use of singing, and art provided the props, and the grandparents loved it. I would now like to introduce Elise Harris, our instructional math coach, who's going to share with you how we communicate with parents regarding students who are in intervention and those who have students that are identified as advanced learners.
to improve our communication with parents, we've made some changes this year, and they seem to be very successful with our parents. First, we created a video that was sent to all of the students or all of the parents of students who are in intervention. This video detailed how the students are selected for intervention, the format of the math and reading intervention, as well as the students' progress, or how the students' progress will be monitored. This video is also uploaded onto the Muskego L and the Mill Valley websites. In addition, each month, Ames web graphs are sent home to parents so they can see the child's improvement based on the progress monitoring probes. Finally, weekly reflections are written by the students to let their parents know what their goal is, what they're working on, and how they can help practice at home. So in addition to doing a better job communicating with parents of students who are in intervention, we also took action to assure we are communicating with parents of students who are identified as advanced learners or gifted and talented. First, in addition to assure parents are fully informed with regards to our multi-tier system of support within our district, we created a video which gives information regarding differentiation and the individualized plans. This video was emailed to the respective parents and is also posted on the websites of Muskego L and Mill Valley. Currently, we already utilize the district's advanced learner form to develop an individualized plan. Teachers and coaches collaborate together to create this personalized plan for students, and the plans are shared with parents. This year, we added a part to the form to note how the teacher will communicate that students' progress to parents. Robin will now provide you with some moving updates.
Well, for starters, there's a lot of cleaning going on. We start moving this week as we have to be out the old section on December 22nd. Demolition, as you heard, is scheduled to begin that second week in January. So to put things into perspective, first and third grade are the only grade levels in the entire building that are not moving. So we are excited to open our doors to the public and pass along to come and visit Mill Valley as it currently exists. We were surprised and yet just so excited at the large turnout, and we're even more amazed at the memories and stories that were shared by all. Mill Valley is truly a place with a lot of history. CG Schmidt has been a fantastic partner and has made efforts to connect with the students around the construction process. We held conversations over lunch where the students came up with questions, and most recently ate lunch out of the construction trailer and took a tour of the new section of the building.
All right, in efforts for our merge to help the staff get to know one another from Mill Valley and Muskego Well, we have combined collaborations twice a month and also get together on the Green PD days. We also have added monthly social outings that are planned by each grade level or stakeholder group. Our PBI system here at Mill Valley is going very well and very strong. A group of Mill Valley Muskego Well teachers are going to be coming together in January to come up with common behavior expectations, so we're ready to go for the merge come this fall. Mill Valley has started wolf packs that are commonly seen at Muskego Well, and this is a time where we look at student behavioral data, hand out golden awards for good behavior in the lunchroom, hallway, and in specials. All right, so the Traveling Falcon's a new addition this year at Mill Valley. So we want to bring awareness to college, career, and community ready. So Freddie the Falcon will go home with students and travel to work with their parents or grandparents, kind of like Flat Stanley, so we can learn more about their jobs. These pictures and descriptions are emailed in and posted to students for students to read. So next time you're out in the hallway, right behind us is a huge bulletin board, and feel free to take a look at it.
So we are proud to say that we work at Mill Valley Elementary School, a school where students are challenged academically, students are taught to be kind and caring, and most of all, we call each other family. Together we'll ride this wave of change, preserving traditions, while looking forward to creating many new ones with those who walk through our doors this fall.
Any questions, comments, or thoughts from the board?
Just wanted to mention that thank you for the open house. It was a pleasure to be here. It was really informative, and as you mentioned, the stories of like this older woman who had been a parent volunteer, she thinks she was maybe the first one at Mill Valley, were really endearing, and it seemed that people were really, really pleased that they had the opportunity. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I was really pleased at the turnout, and that just considering this limited amount of, exposure that people had to it, I was shocked at the amount of people that were here. How is the marrying of the two buildings coming?
I think very well. I guess we have the advantage of being principals in both spots, and so we, day to day, we interact with everyone, and then the best part this year has been everyone having combined collab and combined PD and those social outings, and Laura and I kind of laugh sometimes because we'll go watch one lesson in first grade at Mill Valley, and then we'll be over at Muskego and someone else is doing the same thing, and it's like, oh, I got that during collab time from my counterpart, and so it's really great to see that collaboration already taking place. So,
I would even add that in addition to the structured collab times that we've made for the staff, that they're seeking each other out outside of those times, so really that collaboration is happening across the board. So
It's great to hear. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next item on the superintendent's report is recognition of two athletic groups, the varsity boys soccer and the varsity girls cross country, who both were awarded the Classic 8 Sportsmanship Award. Do we have any students from either one of those groups here tonight? No? All right, well, congratulations to them. All right, Tyler. I'm going to recognize Tyler Mason. Jeremiah, if you want to...
Come on up. So a few weeks ago, I was doing, as we all do before bed, cruising Facebook, and I noticed a really cool thing. Students had started a Facebook page to raise items, particularly like hygiene items for victims of domestic violence. So kind of married nicely to what our department, as far as the buildings and grounds, is about, keeping things clean and hygiene as far as that goes. So she helped to lead a fundraiser throughout our district to raise tons of items for those victims. I don't know, do you want to share how you kind of came up with this idea?
Sure. 2 years ago in the summer, I started Tyler's Touch because we basically just had a surplus of hygiene products in our house that we didn't really need, so we donated them, and basically that kind of just sparked the thought of how many other people would have the same thing. So since it started, we've donated to over 4 locations, one including Henry and Harvey, helping site, and then actually recently Mr. Johnson helped me a lot through the holiday donations fundraiser through the school district, and we donated over 1,000 items to the Milwaukee Rescue Mission, and that's basically a home for families who are victims of domestic violence, and they were really happy to have received all those, and it was kind of just a festive thing to the holiday season, like about giving and things like that, and it doesn't really take that much to give because it's only started 2 years ago, and we've helped so many people, so I'm really happy that everybody who helped out and Mr. Johnson, so thank you all.
Well, in recognition of your efforts and all that you've done for the community, we have a certificate of appreciation for the board, and I'll read it. So, certificate of appreciation. The Muskego Norway School Board hereby congratulates Tyler Mason for her vision, dedication, and leadership in creating a nonprofit service for which she has named Tyler's Touch. Tyler Mason organized a drive in the Muskego Norway schools to gather various types of home and personal hygiene items to be donated to families affected by domestic violence. Through her caring concern and effort for others less fortunate, the drive garnered nearly 1,000 items to assist such families. The Muskego Norway School Board commends Tyler for her generous and thoughtful service beyond her years to her metropolitan community at large. Tyler has brought honor to herself, her family, and the Muskego Norway community. The Muskego Norway School Board extends its best wishes to Tyler for her success in her future education and career endeavors, and it's dated and signed by the board officers. And I got to tell you that we recognize a lot of students for a lot of things. This one's special because it's something that you did on your own, and how it really impacts people that really need the help, and you should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you.
I'm proud that you're a student here. So. You want to?
Okay, just a couple of highlights here. Muskego High School was honored by the College Board as an AP honor roll, or on their 9th AP honor roll. So it's a great achievement for our high school. It's been a number of years since we've been able to make that list. So the information regarding our AP participation is in our documents. So you can see that over the last 7 to 10 years, we've increased from around 400 exams taken by our high school students, AP exams, advanced placement exams, to 874 last year. So just providing opportunities for our high school students taking college level classes in high school to kind of alleviate any sort of fear that they might have, and also just prepare them for rigor as they continue to see themselves as continuous learners or lifelong learners. So any questions about the AP honor roll? Congratulations to the high school and all the students who take the DPI report card was also released actually just a couple of weeks ago, and we are thrilled that we continue to be a district that is significantly exceeding expectations. The information, we look at county ratings just as Mill Valley looked at theirs. We did reach our long-term goal to be a top 3 district. We are 2nd in the county with an 87.1, and when we looked at the state ranking of all K-12 districts, we were 9th in the state, or the 97th percentile. So again, congratulations goes to our staff, our parents, our school board, and of course all of our students who work hard every single day to bring their best to the work that they do, and so couldn't be any closer. So congratulations.
I have to comment on that because 15 years ago when I ran for school board, a big part of getting, I think that had an impact on my election was pointing out where our test scores were. And Hamilton and Muskego were only above Waukesha at the time. And it's amazing 15 years later how far this district has come. And it has nothing to do with me being on the board, but the works of you and your staff is really to be commended. So I'm proud of that. Thank you.
Good. And it does take everyone. So the board being supportive and encouraging and really understanding that it is our staff who works with our students every single day, that direct impact, that's the most meaningful part. So thank you again. Okay, so strategic planning update. I just, every time we meet, once a month, I'll make sure to kind of give you an update on where we're at. So I've included a number of links. I think the biggest thing that we're looking at is really taking those 5 areas that we talk about, which is, making sure that we have, an exemplary learning environment for our students, that we are attracting, retaining, and developing high-impact staff, that we have a community that supports us, that we have continuous improvement, and that we have sound stewardship. Those 5 things we're making sure are weaved within our strategic plan throughout. So one thing you might recall, we have 4 focus areas right now. We have continuous improvement, exemplary teaching and learning. We have high impact personnel, and highly effective personnel, and then we have sound stewardship. What we are looking at doing right now, so the board kind of understands, we're looking at taking that continuous improvement focus and really weaving that through the other 3. because it's really about continuously improving our staff, our students, and our sound stewardship. And so in the middle of that document in board docs, you'll see that what we're looking at doing is making a statement utilizing high quality innovative practices that support continuous improvement of, and then we have 3 focus areas. One is exemplary student engagement and learning. The second is highly effective personnel and expert teaching. And then the third is sound stewardship and community support. Now, the 5 areas that I mentioned in the beginning are all underlined, so you can see the connection to that and the alignment to that. The next time that we meet will be in January, and we'll continue to focus ourselves around the research and the input that we've received, and and I'll report back. Actually, it'll be January 22nd, so it'll be the beginning of February before I'll be able to share with the board our next kind of iteration or where we're going next. Any questions, feedback, or thoughts from the board? Okay. Social studies update. Christy and Dawn.
That doesn't look like Christy.
Yeah.
Looks like Dawn, but.
Oh, how nice that you're here.
Yes, so I have Steve Smith up here with me because he is one of our elementary teacher representatives, and he agreed to stay and be the teacher representative here with me in front of you in case you have any questions from that end. And I think he's hoping you don't, but he's more than willing to answer.
But feel free to ask lots.
Yeah.
True.
So the work of the K-12 committee continued this fall. Sorry, I'm kind of losing my voice here, but continued this fall, and we took a look at identifying power standards, both for the social studies content, but also for the literacy standards that we can impact through social studies. So again, just continuing to look for how are we impacting our literacy results across the day, from kindergarten all the way through grade 12. So that was the work that began the year, and we stayed together as a K-12 team. Additionally, the elementary team looked at text-dependent analysis, which is an expectation of our standards, and it's an expectation that's measured on the Wisconsin Forward assessment. And we took a look at inquiry, which was that framework, that C3 framework that we spoke to you about last spring. Really, how do we take our students' learning in social studies to the point of action in their community? Or maybe it's action through making awareness, or just asking good questions to be good citizens within their community. So once we completed that study and that work, we determined that for elementary, one of our issues is time. How do we accomplish these things without making social studies too cumbersome and not integrated across the day? We took a look in November at resources from several companies, and we identified who we felt had the best products that could support us with this work. And what we identified is that McGraw-Hill has a networks program for elementary, and it's a combination of online and print resources. But what we liked about networks was it allows us to accomplish the social studies standards with a rather minimal amount of time across the elementary week, because it has a strong literacy component. And so there's text sets at multiple levels on common topics that we can integrate into our literacy program. That, along with the fact that it embeds the inquiry, which we really identified as a priority right within the curriculum, we are interested in taking a deeper dive look into that and piloting those resources in the second semester. Thank you for staying. Okay.
Questions?
We'll come back. There's 20 teachers representing all the grades, all the buildings, and then we'll come back once we've completed the pilot and let you know how it goes. Thank you.
And at the middle school, we've also identified power content standards as well as literacy standards. And we're looking at our current units and the revisions that will need to be made to incorporate specific literacy standards within social studies. The middle school is also currently piloting something called DBQs. This is practice that is very common at the high school level. It stands for document-based questions. About 5 minutes ago, I just linked an example of a DBQ in Board Docs, so if you hit refresh, it'll be there. But really, what a DBQ is it takes multiple primary source documents, and through the process of close reading, allows students to really dissect those. And then it concludes with students writing an essay citing and referencing multiple sources. So these are all skills that are well aligned within the Common Core reading and writing standards. They also support the TDA assessment through the forward exam that you all had an opportunity to experience back in October. And it will prepare students better for high school level rigor. At the high school level, we're looking at making some changes with 9th and 10th grade in regards to both content and standards. And then for the higher level classes, we're just looking at embedding more literacy skills in those classes because they are really content specific already. For example, AP psychology, we can't really make any changes to that curriculum because we're held to the AP requirements and standards. So we'll be coming forward with some recommendations for 9th and 10th grade next spring. Any questions?
Okay, the last item on the superintendent's report is our contributions to the profession. And the added item is our Wisconsin Summit and additional WASBO conference presentations. We appreciate the opportunity to share and to network with others across the state, so thanks for those opportunities too. And that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you. Moving on to other reports, President's Report, nothing much besides just to remind everyone that the state convention is January 17th or 19th, I believe. Always some good information. If you've got time, stop in and let's walk the floor. There's breakout sessions that cover a whole array of topics. In fact, Dr. Thompson and myself and anyone else?
Yes, we have, let's see, Jeremiah will be co-hosting a presentation on how to identify and communicate success. And then we have really a cabinet plus Courtney sharing our Making Sense of It All, which is our 3-year professional development plan around those 6 high leverage practices that will also be.
And I'll be at the resolution, so if anybody wants to stop in and say hi.
I will.
We got an email. Did you get the email this week? I'll forward it to you. There was a board member from another district.
Tosa.
Tosa. Yeah, actually it wasn't. No, is it? No, the superintendent.
Yeah.
Wants something changed. So I'll send it to you.
Okay, please do.
All right, moving on to other board member reports. Anyone? Anyone? Clerk's report. There's a clerk's report.
There is.
There is. Excellent. Get on it, clerk.
Let me look. No, I got it. Notice of the school board election was published in the Wednesday, November 22nd, 2017 edition of the Waukesha County Now. 3 school board seats are up for election in April of 2018. 2 of the 3 incumbents have indicated that they will not be seeking re-election. To date, 1 candidate has submitted a declaration of candidacy, and 1 person has taken papers but has not yet submitted documents. District residents who are eligible meet eligibility requirements may file declaration and campaign registration statement at the Educational Services Center, South 87, West 18763, Woods Road, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. on regular business days. The deadline to file is 5 p.m. on Tuesday, January 2nd, 2018. The primary election, if necessary, will take place on Tuesday, February 20th, 2018. The spring election will take place on Tuesday, April 3rd, 2018. Candidates who are elected in the spring election will take office on Monday, April 23rd, 2018. Terms are for 3 years.
Thank you. Moving on to item 8, resolution action items. 8A, 2018-19 school calendar.
Hold on. Motion to approve the 2018-2019 school calendar as presented.
Second.
Discussion? Any questions? We talked about this last meeting.
There's no changes on the calendar since the last.
None.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Item 8B, middle school and high school course description books.
Motion to approve the 2018-2019 middle school and high school course description books as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
The additional ads are just noted there with regard to CAP.
So as we're learning more about the state's new program that will be replacing course and youth options, which is called the Early College Credit Program, we're starting to modify some of the language that we're learning. So you'll see that for the high school course description book, the ads since our last meeting are bolded. Language has been modified regarding the payment of CAP classes. We're still waiting for clarification as to how CAP relates to the ECCP. That's on page 10. The technical school program, which was unnamed at the last meeting, now has a name. It's called Start College Now, and the information related to that program is on page 12. We're really excited about the 1+3 articulation agreements that have been outlined with UW-Oshkosh and UW-Whitewater. They include an opportunity for students to earn up to 30 college credits in the areas of computer science, business management, education, and engineering. Those articulation agreements can be found on pages 13 through 16. And per your request at the last meeting, the physical education replacement credit has been added to page 77, which is the first page of the physical education courses. Any questions regarding the high school book?
Start College Now, who came up with that? There's no acronym there. It's completely uneducation.
Okay, at the middle school level, one change was made, and it was just to clarify that as 7th and 8th grade students, students will have to choose between band and choir. They will not be able to take both unless their schedule is such that they can fit both into it. So if it happens to work, we can work it out, but we're not able to offer both and honor both. So what we did was we placed an emphasis on the additional music options for 7th and 8th graders, so that people are aware of the clubs and activities that may be of interest for students who are highly interested or gifted in music. So things like the jazz club or the spring musical, for example. Each school has 6 choir or band options outside of the school day. Any questions on that?
All right.
Thank you.
I'll those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Moving on to 8C, financial literacy standards.
Motion to adopt academic standards for financial literacy to be incorporated into curriculum grades K through 12.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, or anything you want to add?
So as of December 2nd, 2017, there was Act 94 was passed. I put the act, a copy of the act in board docs for you to see. The state of Wisconsin did approve the Wisconsin Model Academic Standards for Financial Literacy, and we have received instruction to embed those into our curriculum. K4, that will be work that we'll have to take a look at as to where those financial literacy standards relate to current topics and current units. We're fairly confident at the middle and high school level that with our current courses that we offer, that we're meeting those standards. So we just have to have the board approve the standards just like we do our Common Core, ACT, et cetera, which we usually do at the first meeting of the year. And this is just something that we have to go through the process now because it just passed.
And this takes effect.
Effective immediately.
What if we didn't pass it? I'm just curious. It's like, almost like you have to do this. It's like,
A strongly worded letter.
They send you a letter, followed by a strongly worded letter.
so why even bother to say, here you go, here's your standards? That's what I don't get.
Something the state
We're a society of laws, and it's a law we're following.
So this was written in 2006?
The standards were, the standards document, that's the most current standards document. But what they just passed in December of 2017 was that we now have to incorporate the standards of financial literacy into curriculum K-12. That piece is the new piece.
That's it. Okay, and then that is what's incorporated in this. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Are you planning on doing any kind of follow-up that is just letting us know how you're specifically, especially the K-4, I'm kind of interested in what you're going to be incorporating and what?
Yeah, and that'll be work that, it actually fits really nicely with our next PDSA cycle because all of our encore classes go through the PDSA starting in fall. And so that'll be a perfect opportunity for us to find opportunities to place those standards in.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Moving on to item 8D, gifts, grants, and bequests.
Motion to accept with thanks gifts to the Muskego High School as noted below. Muskego Youth Football, $38,000 for engineering of turf project. Muskego High School Gridiron Club, $1,000. Muskego High School football to offset transportation costs to level 4 playoff game. James and Deanna Gillespie, $50 for robotics. Badger Meter, $250 for robotics. Precision Screw Thread, $500 for robotics. Zymox Technologies, $500 for robotics. Boys Basketball Boosters, $2,660.43 for boys basketball. Muskego Girls Basketball Association, $1,314.45 for girls basketball. Tangle Photography, $125 for MHS Choir. Tangle Photography, $125 for MHS Band. SC Johnson Giving Inc., $250 for Muskego High School Band. And Muskego Diggs Volleyball Booster Club, $1,265 for the girls volleyball program.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Passed unanimously. Moving on to item 9, discussion items, 9A, 2018-19 budget.
I included the 2018-19 budget calendar. The leadership team met this past week to start the process for developing the 2018-19 budget. Within this document, again, I have bolded the dates that are applicable to items that affect the budget, as well as any statutory regulations that we have to follow. The one thing I did want to note on here is I've noted that our annual meeting could be October 29th. So that is something if you want to consider, I know last year we moved it up a week. I think there was a conflict with the city, I believe. So that's the date that we have on there as of right now. So if there's any recommendations for an adjustment, I can do that before the next meeting when this would be approved. Otherwise, that's the date that we would move forward with.
I like the 29th because it doesn't conflict with my wife's birthday.
I actually
As it
planned it
almost
that way.
always does.
Have her show up, we'll sing to her.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Any questions or comments on the calendar that she's presented? Anything else under budget that anyone wants to talk about? Hearing none, moving on to item 10, information follow-up. The health and wellness, anything you want to add to that?
No, you'll see that our appointments have actually increased. We had 261 visits in the month of October, and that's primarily due to the great number of flu shots that we had at the clinic this year. So a lot of visits for the month of October.
Tony, what's our update on fiber?
Yes.
Thank you. Good question. I checked in. We have now the opportunity to start the build-out in 2 different areas, which is the location from Muskego Lakes Middle School back to the district office, and then also another point will be down Racine Avenue in the Waukesha County area. So those are 2 areas that will begin. As you know, now we're hitting the cold season. Wonderful, right? So that's just a matter of getting all the equipment here, and they can actually start that process even though temperatures have dropped considerably. On a funding note, E-rate, we actually had questions come back from E-rate. They were somewhat redundant, which is kind of ironic. Questions we've answered before, like total length of the project, 86,000 feet as an example. And actually asking for questions about what are the most expensive areas of this project? Are they materials related or labor related? So I checked in with the DPI and I thought those seem a bit unusual. They said they're not. They're actually rather typical. And then I asked them for the results of what's happening in the state. So far, 4 districts have been approved. And so all kind of within the fall to winter time of year, so it's very current. Only 1 district was denied. I don't have the information on why. But so far, we're part of the other districts that are pending, which is about 6 other districts. So we have 15 days to respond to the questions for E-rate, which we'll get back by the end of the week. And that is our update on both funding and progress. So,
Can you do me a favor? Actually, first answer those questions and then get that turned in. But
Yeah.
if you could find out why the district was turned down or
Sure.
what the request was at least, I think.
I can. And it was La Crosse School District, and it was for $349,000. This is public information, so, and certainly could look into.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Anything else under information follow-up anyone needs? Hearing none, can I get a motion to adjourn? So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned at 8:02 p.m. Have a nice